Respect your body, cherish your mind, and protect your heart. Hello beloveds, welcome to my channel. I'm Krystal and this is my sleepy Priya. And today I was thinking, if I could say something to my younger self, what would it be? And there's honestly a lot I would like to say to my younger self, but I'm just going to address one topic on this video because it's something I think that is extremely important that I wish I knew when I was younger, and I've had a lot of messages about it recently. And this is something that I think if I knew before, I would have saved myself a great deal of pain and suffering. When I was a young girl and a teenager, I never felt whole. So like many of us, I was trying to fill a void, and I did that by seeking constant male attention, along with drinking alcohol and just over-socializing all the time, needing that constant stimulation and attention. Through my teenage years, I always had a boyfriend. I was never alone, and the only times that I didn't have a boyfriend, which was maybe for a week, I always had a friend staying with me. I wasn't happy with who I was, so I couldn't be by myself. I was always on the search for the one, and I was so young that I wish I told myself to stop looking for him and look within yourself. You are the only one that can fix that void within yourself. No one else can for you. Spend time with yourself and discover yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Ignore the pressures of society. Don't share yourself with just anyone who will give you attention, just so you can feel loved and appreciated for those few moments. No happiness or pleasure in this physical plane lasts forever. I have so much I want to say to my younger self, but I'm really going to try to stick on the topic of this video. I'm going to primarily focus on putting expectations onto other people. If you've studied Buddhism, you'll know that they believe attachment is the root of all suffering in this physical world. One thing that has caused me so much pain in my life, especially when I was younger, is attachment to expectations. These are unrealistic expectations that we put onto other people, and when they don't meet these expectations, our hearts are broken. The truth is, we all want to be loved. Of course we do. Even the people that might pretend they don't due to trauma in their life, we all want love. So growing up, I was looking for that perfect partner, a magical prince to come sweep me away, as so many of us do. There's no Disney movie that ends in the girl falling in love with herself. It's always some handsome prince coming and saving her from all her problems. That's what I wanted. So like I said, why this has been on my mind is because recently I've received some messages because my partner and I posted a video a few weeks ago, and in it I say that we realized we're each other's soulmates within the first few minutes of meeting. And this is true to an extent, but I should clarify it that we both were very excited as soon as we met each other because we had a lot of similarities and it just seemed like a perfect fit. But at the same time, neither of us put that expectation onto the other person. We just took it slow. We said, wow, this is kind of crazy, but let's just see where it goes. So we did take a lot of time getting to know each other and connecting on a deep level before we really said, you are my soulmate, it's confirmed. Had we put those expectations on each other when we first met, and things didn't turn out, we would have both been in a lot of pain. Now, after I posted this video, I've had some younger girls writing me and saying that they've met someone really briefly and they think that it's similar to Koi and I. Some even saying that they haven't met the person yet, but they're convinced that this is their soulmate. And I'm not judging in any way because I did this a lot when I was younger. And if you don't yourself, you probably know someone who is always saying, this is the one, this is the one. And it's not due to immaturity, it's just the fact that they want to be loved. There's nothing wrong with that, but we still need to protect and respect our hearts. I want to say, discover yourself first before you go share yourself with other people. And don't create these fantasies in your mind and attach to them when it actually could be very far from reality. I'm reading a book right now, it's a memoir, on a lady who was in a very abusive relationship and her husband almost killed her. She said that when she met him, within 5 minutes, she decided that this was going to be her husband. This was the love of her life. And initially, he didn't even want to be with her. And he even went so far as warning her that you don't want to be with a man like me. I'm very troubled. Trust me. And instead of trusting what he had to say, she had already formulated this whole idea of a dream life with him in her mind, and nothing he could say could take that away from her. So she pursued him. They got married eventually, and she ended up in a very abusive relationship. And now she's aware of how unhealthy her choices were, as she attached to expectations before she really got to know this man. And a reason why this is also on my mind is because it's come up in my own life a couple times. It's raining. I hope it's not too loud for you guys. So yeah, this has come up in my life a couple times recently. One of them was a teacher I found online, and right away I felt really attracted to this person. So much that I wanted to make them my mentor. I flew across the world to meet them, and when I got there, I was very disappointed by the way I was treated and a little heartbroken. I didn't let it affect me too much because I've been through this before. It's very easy to expect things from someone and also idolize that person in a sense. And that's how we get hurt, because more than likely this person is not going to meet our expectations. And the other situation was I had made a friend online, and we have mutual friends, so I thought he was okay. But when I met him in person, he was very different, and I actually ended up in a pretty bad situation because of it. And honestly, I had a thought in my mind that this person is how they were over messaging. And in person, even though the vibe was off and the energy was strange, I just ignored it because I had already decided in my head who this person was before I even met him. I was just watching an interview with a popular YouTuber, and he's explaining that a lot of other YouTubers he's watched seem very outgoing and extroverted and a lot of fun on their channel. But then when he meets them in person, they're very quiet and awkward and just very different. It's almost promoting bipolar disorder, because you can have an internet personality and then a real personality. And some people are exactly the same. But of course you have to be careful and not expect everyone to be the same way they are online, especially on social media. I was also in a very abusive relationship. Like most abusive relationships, it started off seeming too good to be true. Everything was just too amazing. He was too good to me. It just didn't feel right because it wasn't. It wasn't real. But at the time, I was so excited, and I started planning this amazing future for us, fantasizing about it all the time, to the point that I was so determined to have this life with this man. When he became abusive, I was still latching on to this perfect life that we were supposed to have. So I allowed this to happen for much, much longer than I should have. I was always trying to get it back to how things were at the start so that we could have this perfect future that I was so sure we would have. It took almost losing my life to finally walk away from that situation, and the pain I went through wasn't even losing the person that he was. I didn't even realize who he was because I was so blinded by who I wanted him to be. And I went through this process of losing every single fantasy that I had envisioned in my mind, one by one, and the pain of that was so intense and so unnecessary. It was only because I created expectations that he could never live up to. And it's even happened the other way around before, where I've met someone briefly while I'm traveling, and then they add me to social media, and they formulate this idea about me before they see me again. Then when we meet up, and I'm not this exact person that they believe me to be, they might be confused or even upset. I have a very strong intention for having social media, so all of my posts reflect that intention, but it's not a direct representation of my whole life. And that's something very important for people to remember about social media. It is just one aspect of someone's life. It's not necessarily who they are as a person. I'm feeling like this is such an important message right now because when I was younger, social media was kind of just becoming a thing, and I remember how confusing it made my whole life. So I think this message is very important, especially for the younger generations right now, who are a lot more exposed to that. So to Krystal, my younger self, don't be blinded by expectations, by the way you want things to be. Because if you become so caught up on the way you want one person to be, you might actually miss the person you're meant to be with right in front of you. Be aware of your thoughts and your fantasies. It's okay to have them and to daydream sometimes. Just don't latch on to them. And don't expect people to be any way before you have truly connected with them on a deeper level. Respect your body. Cherish your mind. And protect your heart. So I hope that helps some of you, and I just want to thank you all for watching, and for anyone who's been following my new channel. I really appreciate all the positive feedback I've been getting. It means the world to me. If you have any questions about this, just comment below, and I will do my best to respond.